Turkey, welcome back. How is you? How's everything? How's the day going? How's the design going? God damn, this code is slow today. Again. I'm good. I'm tired. I I'm debating stopping streaming altogether because it's just not as good as I expected it to be, and it's been 5 years and the usual. But yeah, other than that, everything is fine. Other than that, everything is fine. God damn. There have been like some changes. The app has been released. The app has been released, and there has been some updates. That's all I wanted to say. Yes, exactly, exactly. That's the thing. Yes. And right now, I'm currently extremely um sad because I I have an idea of a feature. Also, hair has changed since last time. Um, but um, but yeah, I need something new in the app, and I don't know if I want to do it for real or that. I know that doesn't help. So basically, the thing that I'm stating or saying or whatever is when you are, that's the wrong button, when you are in the app itself, and even though I don't want to have any social features in there, it will be useful for me for discoverability to be able to let you share the perfume that you are wearing today to social medias. And so I kind of want to create some sort of a card, something that would be, here is my scent of the day, or here is a perfume that I like a lot, and so on. Because I'm spending so much time on TikToks, I'm seeing that on every platforms and stuff. And so if I'm looking at this screen right here and I expand the view, that's basically what I think could be good for the shareable image thing, because you have the perfume bottle, the profile, the notes, and the name. So you know, you, you have everything right there. And so that's like one screenshot away from being done. So that's good. But if you think about it on a bigger screen, like on the small screen, this is a bigger screen. It doesn't work because on an iPhone 13 mini, for example, you stop roughly around here in terms of height. So you lose the name of the perfume. So that's the reason why I'm thinking maybe having like an exportable thing would be pretty good. But I can't figure out the layout, and I can't figure out a way to make it good, in the sense that this layout is okay for me as a presentation because you are coming from here. So you see the bottle a lot bigger in the beginning, and then if you want the details, you tap on it, you have the details. Whereas if I'm sharing this, it's way less interesting. So I don't know. X, welcome on in. Welcome back. How are you? How have you been? How's everything? It's been a while. It's been a while. So that's the current dilemma and the thing that I'm thinking about, and it's maybe, but I don't know exactly what layout I want. I have some ideas, but they don't work, and when I'm trying to build the thing, they work but halfway through. And then one of the things that I noticed, and I don't know if that's gonna work, but um, yeah, that's working half of the time. That's interesting. Uh, That's a weird thing to happen. Interesting. So I can, I'm gonna just unplug it so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I have my phone right here, and if I do that, for some reason, it works. And I wasn't planning on that working, but it does work. So it's interesting. Um, Again, not planned and broken on half of the screens, but eh, I'm not gonna complain. Um, but yeah, I didn't, but in order to have um in the beginning, I didn't have landscape. I just had portraits and that's it. And then because I have the made for iPhone build that is launchable on my Mac on made for iPad, sorry. Um, it told me that I can't really release the thing if the iPad version and the iPhone version don't have all the orientations. So I had to have landscape for everything. And yeah, now we do. So yeah. How's the house building? Because that's pretty cool. Um, that's a very nice thing to see. You're saying, yeah, Strava is pretty interesting, but I hate this. Uh, like the the benefits and the way that this is working and why it is so popular and so on is because you can basically build this image um, on your own, right? You kind of can place these things wherever you need them to be, and you kind of define the picture that you want to have as the background, right? Whereas for me, it's roughly based on what we currently have. It's roughly that's not the right one, but it doesn't really matter. Uh, the current things that people are doing is they take a screenshot of this and they have like the perfume bottle where they usually take off the background. They take a screenshot of that section and then they take a screenshot of this section however they want it to be. But that's usually what happens. And they present that on like they present it weird. So you can export this thing directly, and I feel like this is better. But apparently, I don't know. I feel like a builder would be interesting. Um, but I don't know. So I'm experimenting with things right now. This is really shit and I hate it. The main reason why it's shit is because of this fucking image. I'm using the worst image for floral that I have right here so that I make sure that the worst can work because goddamn, that's bad. But I mean, it needs to work. So we'll see. We will see. Um, I'm reading X messages. Uh, I see. Mm. If it's done-ish, that's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. Um, that's pretty nice as well, Turkey. Also, you're saying like on V2 launch. Where's V1 launch? Hmm? Hmm? 5 months to build a house? No. Um, I mean, 5 months to build a house seems fast, but then, yeah. So yeah, that's the situation right now. I just hate everything I've done, and my brain doesn't compute layout for editorial. That's the reason why I didn't continue my studies in print because I hate it, and I went into digital, but this is shit. So yeah, that's the situation, but that is basically the idea, Turkey. That's the a concept where you could share something directly without having any in-app social media related stuff. Like it's just, oh, you want to share that perfume, that's it. So maybe at some point it will have something that is like a share builder, like a share view builder type of thing, like Strava is doing, where you can place stuff wherever and you can take the right picture and so on. But I don't know if it would be with the person though. But that's way more complex. If I have to have taking a picture, managing the placement of the perfume, and so on. I mean, I technically I get it. That basically implies every aspect of the shareable element needs to be exportable, and the washing machine is done. One second. There. That was a mess. That was a mess. Anyways, no, I haven't heard of this one. Um, and it's, are they French? Are they French? I haven't really paid attention to what the fuck was happening, so I don't really understand what's the idea and or concept of what it is. Well, hmm, I'm not gonna go into my messages right there. Eh, eh. Cybersect, hi, what on it? How are you? Um, what does it do? No, they are from California. That is interesting, different, not the thing that I was expecting. But like, what the fuck is poke? What the fuck did they do? Um, Hmm. So you basically have automation based on things that you defined, and that's through messages. So basically, you're using messages and iMessage for notification and automation. Um, mhm. That's interesting. That's not, I mean, if it works for you and you like it, that's good. But if you need to pay for something from the start, that feels kind of wrong to me. But that's also a me thing. Um, and if it helps you organize and be productive and so on, that might be a good thing. But one of the things that is kind of crazy for the past few 3 days, I would say 3 days are going to be good, is that if it's connected to like um, my phone, because iMessage and so on, and it checks what I'm doing and gives me notification on, oh, you should work on something else instead of being on TikTok and so on, for example, um, it makes no sense, at least not for me, because for the past 3 days, I've been on TikTok nonstop for marketing. And so interacting with other creators, posting comments, sending DMs, posting videos, and so on. And all of that is kind of work stuff. So that would be considered as non-working for a lot of apps like this, unless it is like uh, learning from behaviors. But then that's kind of weird. And the fact that it's on text-based environment makes no sense to me. Um, me. But yeah, interesting. But no, I didn't hear about them. I have never seen anything that they have done. Um, and if it's just an automation thing, as in they are building automation through iMessage to the native automation through iOS, I don't I don't see why paying for it make any sense. Um, yeah, that's never happening. Um, like that's the thing that is uh, for me at least, kind of never happening is the fact that I don't text anyone. I don't have anyone that I really text. I send TikToks to friends, and that's it. So when you look at my phone screen thing, which is probably gonna break, no, good. If I look here, the iMessage uh, app is on the third screen, and I don't touch it. Like I don't give a fuck. The phone is right here as well. Like I don't use these things. So it's just eh. Yeah. You know what? I think it's good if you have a schedule and you have things that you need to make progress on based on what you just said, which is not my case. Um, And I'm not like just trying to find excuses to not test it out. I just feel like if I need to pay for it anyways, um, I feel like that's not gonna be a good idea. So I'm gonna check it out for sure at some point, but I have a lot of doubts. It's the same thing, at least for me or in my head, it's the same thing as dots, which is now like dead because they stopped. It was really good. they had like a very cool assistant settings, which was taking reference of your environment. And so before it kind of died, I saw that it was sending me notifications of, oh, there is a new art collection, like gallery that just opened that has like a thing that just happened this weekend. Maybe you would be interested in going there. And I didn't see any fucking notifications. Of course, I missed it. But nonetheless, that was like kind of on premise and around me, aware of my surrounding and so on. So that's pretty cool as a concept. But it's not necessarily something that I am like actively doing. I don't personally feel like that helps in any way. That's a hi, welcome on in. And Grace, hi, welcome on in. Yes, no more dots, indeed. No more dots. But yeah, like that's the type of thing that I'm just testing out and so on. Um, Same thing here, like Yuxe or Hux. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Um, I think it's Chinese, so I would say Yuxe, but I don't know. It's an interesting concept. It's a bit of a notebook LM type of thing. It creates podcasts based on interest automatically. So that's interesting. But I used it 3 seconds and then I kind of gave up because it's not necessarily useful for me. So, eh, you know, it happens. It happens. So yeah. Um, yeah, please share the link. That's all. Please do. Um, Grace, that is kind of crazy. Um, that's a crazy thing to say. Crazy thing to say. That's better. It's interesting to have the laptop in laptoping mode. Like that's interesting, but it does have like now this one is out of place for its weight, so that's interesting. But these ones are good overall. Like it does the job. It does the alignment. Um, this way these two are the same kind of width roughly, so that makes sense. That's pretty cool. That's better. It is better. Um, and we have AOC's forehead as always at the bottom. Uh, but yeah. Um, Untitled dot stream feels really weird as a URL. That's the thing, uh, because Untitled has been so overused, but probably you don't know. You're too young for that. Um, but also yes, I mean every um every USB, every hard drive, every floppy disk that I used at some point was named Untitled by default, and then a lot of them, because of the fact that they were named Untitled by default when you just format them, I just kept them as Untitled. And so we had, like, in the house with my sister, with my dad, and my mom, we had um, Untitled 3 or Untitled. It's just like Untitled with a U, which is capitalized. It's a different hard drive than the Untitled without the capital. Like that's just the type of shit that I've seen. So the fact that this is just called Untitled.stream, I'm like, oh, you didn't have a fucking clue how to name your thing, and therefore it's just Untitled. Hmm? Hmm? But yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing. A donut. Hi, welcome on in. on YouTube. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thank you for chatting. I appreciate it. So yeah, these icons are pretty good. As you switch them, the fact that you have the go-to homepage here, work, music, and message, and then here it's in work, go-to homepage, music, and message. It's a bit reorganized. It doesn't really bother me, but it's kind of different. Um, so yeah. No, Donut, I can't do that. Mainly because I'm not someone that throws, so I can't do that. If that's what you're talking about. If it's like a character, I can't do characters. Never happens. Um, but yeah, no, that's interesting. That's good. It's good icons. Good icons so far. Um, and you've been using that. And you're saying that you're using this, and it's good. Hmm. Hmm. Visually speaking, it looks pretty nice. Did I see some of that before? I may have. I may have seen some of the creation related to that. Um, yeah. I mean, mainly because I recognize the drag and drop effect and the scrollable elements for the ticker. So that's something I'll check it out. As always, I'm not checking apps live. Usually, it's kind of hard to do. Um, but yeah. And then yeah, I don't draw, so I can't really help when it comes to that. If you are someone that is looking for regular help for like characters and so on, and you are learning to draw, I know that um, Plinko is one of them. That is not Plinko. I forgot the name. It's red icon. Otherwise, KSM is pretty good, and he has um, you know what? I'm gonna just go through this code. That's gonna be way faster. KSIM does have some sort of like a lot of resources related to drawing characters and other things. He has an entire boot camp right about here, if I remember correctly. And I could highly recommend you what he does. Like both of these are really good, and it's neat to follow through. So maybe check them out. Look at what they're doing because it's good content. The whole system, the whole thing that he's done in the past was a full boot camp for um, like all body parts, all expressions, all things. He did that in a 30 days boot camp, one stream per day with one specific topic per day, and that was really, really cool. So yeah, if you are someone that is interested in drawing, that's not my case, but I just know Kason, so supporting the homie, that happens. Uh, he's doing a lot of really good content and really good presentation, like specifics. So if you are looking for lower body understanding, this one would be a potential basic thing to look at. Um, and might help for sure. Yeah. Good content, good base, better than what I can give you. So it is better today. It is better today, Grizz. I agree with that. It's not great, but it's better today. Um, and also it's going back to my initial haircut, so I'm kind of fine with it. It's just if I go back to the middle part, it's breaking. It's not a good idea. I can go fuck boy. That's a good thing. Not really, but I can put everything in front. That's the very much fuckboy Gen Z environment. But yeah, um, that's the thing. It's the thing. So yeah, Donna, that's all I can provide. I think this is the potentially some of the best content that you can have because it's free. It's also long form video. So you will basically see him uh, through the entire process of explaining everything for that bootcamp and deconstructing, seeing every fucking drawing that happens. And so all of that is extremely impressive and good to follow through. So, yeah. Then if you're just looking for ass in drawing, that's also an option. We have some here, but that's not necessarily what you're looking for, I'm guessing. Depending, I don't know. But yeah, that's it's always a good thing. It's always a good thing to have like people that are competent to ask the question to. And so Kasem, nonetheless, I don't know if he's been live in a while. I think it's been a while for me since I've been able to catch him live at the same time. But the last one was yesterday. So, you know, if it's one every 2 days, and you are someone that is interested in watching people live on stream on Twitch rather than YouTube, same thing. Would highly recommend you to come back here and do that instead because it's neat and you can ask questions and so on with people that have the skills and the knowledge, which is not me. So, yeah, do that. So, yeah, Grizz, I'm going to test that out. When I have the time, I'm going to test the Poke or Poke messaging thing as well, probably this weekend to see if it works, if it does anything. But, goddamn, I don't know. And no, Techie, I'm not sending you my ETH wallet account. Nope. You don't cover the fees for this. I need to see how much it costs and how it behaves, specifically in the beginning. So, because you said it's good. So, that's the thing. I just don't use that. Nonetheless, going back to the initial discussion, that I think is I think this would need a, a shareable builder, and that pissed me off because that's a feature that is way too complex and way too advanced for what I want the app to be in the first place. So going back to my initial take, right, on right here, the goal is to be able to have a preview and a shareable screen related to the picture that is here. Specifically this, to have the bottle design, the olfactory profile, potentially the notes is necessary and the name and brand is necessary as well. So that screenshot that I could just say this is take a screenshot of that and be done. But that feels wrong. So I don't know. But that's where I am right now, and that I need it to be as simple as it can, so that it doesn't break anything, and it just makes sense. Because goddamn, it should be simple. It's a simple app. It's a simple app. So yeah, that's the situation. I could 100% build like a builder and then play with said builder to have all the things that you can reorganize stuff and so on. But yeah, the app is not performing so good, but it's not bad either. Like it's overall, we've seen better days, but I've made $20. So that's something. I have 115 downloads, 2,000 impressions in the past 30 days, so that's a lot more, which makes sense than the other one. and overall 176 session, which means that at least each of the downloads have at least one session. I had 3 crashes, which are from me, so I know where they're coming from, which is good. But yeah, other than that, not much. Not really a lot of information. We had a spike on launch day, which is good, but that's it. Again, it's been like less than 2 weeks. So, the fact that in 2 weeks we reach 100 downloads and users is pretty good. 4 session per active user is pretty nice as well. Not good, but better than the other ones. And right now I'm currently on marketing streak for TikTok specifically. So everything that is like my feed is filled with people that are perfume enthusiasts, and all I do is just I don't know what's gonna pop in here, but most of the things are just um, perfume related. And so what I just do is I go to their account, I send them a DM if I feel like the account is matching what I want to have as people. That's asked, that's different. Um, but yeah, it's the type of thing that needs to happen, and so on. It take a lot of time. It's a lot of work for no fucking reason, but yeah. They're just sending DMs, making sure that, the people that like this person, for example, could be interested in having the app or using the app or testing the app. If it feels like it matches, at least, again, from my point of view, it's just like going into their account, checking what they're doing. If the content is related to perfume and they're doing perfume reviews and so on, sending them a DM to make sure that, maybe they check it out. So that would be a spike in the beginning of the spree, that's for sure, and then we'll see. But the marketing stuff is what takes the longest, at least for me. So we'll see. But yeah, no, the ass makes a lot of sense. That was Desi, so Desi is or Desi, depending on region. She's one of the bobsleigh Olympian, I think. She's about to compete in the Winter Olympics, I think. And so, yeah, not this year, but like in 2026. That's a good thing. And because bobsleigh is just legs, she just has ass all day on the feed, which it happens. It happens. So yeah, also posting video all days, not all day, but like sharing things, making sure that everything is understandable, and so on. Ah, so much work, so much work, but it's fine. That spike was good for launch day. I I was planning on having more posts related to, well, the app itself on Reddit, but then the platforms and the subreddit that exist that are in there that I wanted to post to, they have strict rules of no marketing, no advertising. So I can't do that, which is really sad because they have some of the biggest potential user base that I will have. And I need to find a way to post into that subreddit in a way that is just hinting that the app exists without being promotional enough. And yeah, that is also one of the reasons why I want to have a shareable screen, a shareable image, because that way, if I just say, oh, this is my scent of the day type of thing, and it has the logo of the app and the editorial card makes sense. Yeah, the thing is, if I do that, specifically, I can't do that because I have contacted the mods of the subreddit by like already, and I made sure that it was allowed, and they both said no. Um, like, I mean, one of them haven't replied, but the other one has said, um, marketing is not allowed, and there is no pre-approval. So that's kind of sad, which means that if they see me talk about an app in a way, they will probably just ban me or remove my post and so on. So we'll see. But yeah, this one is pretty good because it has uh, a lot of people, and I basically just need to talk about it. Need to talk about the app and make my way through this in a way that makes sense and feels organic. So if I buy like a new perfume, I could have like these and say this is what I have, um, and then have the olfactory profile, have the screenshot of the app, and then organically speaking, maybe some people will ask, "Oh, what's this app? What's this thing?" So yeah, um, Tariq, hi, welcome back. How are you? How's the day going? How have you been? So yeah, so that's the thing. This one is really cool because it is um like 300,000 people in total, roughly. And then the other one is Fragrance that they have 2 million active members and roughly like 600,000 active daily. So it's that's also a very impressive thing. And so I think I could potentially just get my hands in there, but yeah, um, we'll see. We'll see, but that's the fucking most annoying part of building apps, at least from my point of view. I need the marketing to be done for me, and I don't want to spend money in ads. I could, but I don't want to. Please, hi, welcome on in. How's the day going? How's the cooking going? I don't know. You're probably not cooking, not baking much in these times. I mean, transitional times right here with the temperatures going down. It calls for cakes. Yesterday's cake, I didn't take a picture because it's the usual, um, were it's sad, but it's also I'm happy about it. I went to my regular place, and because it's me, the girl that is behind the counter just give me because I went at the end of the day roughly. She gives me the thing that are like unsold, the ones that have a dent that have uh, maybe been here since yesterday and haven't been sold, and so on. And therefore, I came back here with like three instead of two. I still ate everything. Hmm? So, me, I'm a fat ass today. It happens. It happens. But yeah, no, I need to work on this, and that's gonna take a lot of time. I'm currently just 100% on TikTok and DMs over DMs over DMs all day. I probably have sent like 150 to 200 DMs in 2 days. Um, and that's like a lot. Uh, it's a lot, but that's just how it is. I need to make sure that the people that are potentially the target audience know that the app exists, even if it's just like one thing, um, that exists. Maybe that helps. One of the people that I contacted replied to me and said, "Well, I'm not someone that would use like a journaling app for my perfume collection. I have my shelves, I can see everything, and I just use Fragrantica for the notes." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool, do that. Have fun with perfume. I mean, you don't need the app. It's just like it happens." Um, an Apple Tatin last. Last year, yeah, last year there was a pineapple tatin, which was so good. Let me see if I have it. Let me see. You know what? It was not last year. I think it was more 2 years ago. Hmm, maybe. Uh, I know I have a picture of it. That's the thing. So if it was before Japan, that means nope. Wrong one. Uh yes. No, that's just tatin. This one is also good, but yeah, this one was like very lemon cakey, and this one was tatin, vanilla tatin thing. That's very simple. Not exactly what we want. That's not the one that I'm looking for though, because it was pretty good. I'm expecting it to be before that. If only it was organized by dates. Would have been useful. That's the pear one. I know you're all gonna be hungry after that. It's just, I know how it is. Um, oh. The thing is, I can't search for it because it doesn't make any sense. Like the thing wouldn't recognize pineapple on the tart. Um, that sounds interesting. Um, that sounds really cool. It can be indeed. What is this thing? I I ate like, I don't know, 16 of these, which means that I probably took one picture and that's it, but still, it was good. Why is it not here? That makes no sense. Yeah, no, even pineapple makes no sense. I mean, not makes no sense, but like I can't find anything related to the one I'm looking for. Well, it's a not today situation, but it's basically the same as this one, um, which is this is a pear vanilla white chocolate. Um, it's good, but it was the same ID, but a roasted pineapple on top. Anyways, details, details of things. Ha! It was really nice. It was really nice. Sometimes makes more sense. Um, that is pretty good, I guess. That's the automation, I guess. Goddamn. But yeah, no, other than that marketing thing, I mean, things have changed. Not that it matters or that, it's visible or something, but basically in the first time when you are launching the app for the first time and you add your first perfume and you enter here, there will be a tooltip on the bottle itself that just tells you, or you can tap on it if you want, and if you tap on it, just expand so that you have a bit of a hint, because otherwise it's not obvious that it's tappable. So that's something. The other thing is right here. So that was crazy. Is right here the search at the top, which is now kind of the brown one. You can kind of see it, but on stream, the contrast ratio is really bad. That also has a tooltip that just tells the user, oh yeah, you can search. That's a useful thing. And then I decided today to remove the gender right here because it made no sense. There was like gender, feminine, masculine, and unisex, and basically most people are saying unisex is anything that like that's all you need. You don't need anything else. So you know that's cool. That's one less thing to fill. And yesterday, Knox, welcome in. Welcome back. Um, I did this, which is pretty useful. So if you are creating a perfume from scratch manually, and you are like selecting your notes for said perfume, like that, I'm on the top notes and so on. I'm selecting the top notes. I can now move to the middle notes and select like other things, and then move to the base and select other things, and then make sure that each of my section are good and contain the right notes directly. And then when I'm done, it's basically just refilling or pre-filling the section. So I have everything in multiple places. I can make sure that everything is on point, and then move on to add the perfume to the collection. So that's a better environment, better things, which I think is nice, kinda. It's gonna be useful. That's the thing. And the last one is this section right here, which is basically giving you the ability to have more cards in the recommendation in the morning. So right now I'm by default it's set to 2, and I'm giving you the ability to just have a third one, a fourth one, or a fifth one. I don't know about the fifth one. I think I told that um, on Wednesday. I have doubts. 5 is a lot. 5 is a lot of swipes to go back to the first one because it's not like an organized swipe. It's always an infinite loop. So that's a lot. Um, but yeah, we'll see. It's just for now, it's working, and that's neat for the recommendation. Other than that, it things that is for me that you will never see, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the more I'm looking at stuff in terms of how apps currently look for most of the other platforms that I'm using, the more I want to remove stuff from mine. So, for example, here we don't really have a title, like a page title. Here, you have a page title called My Collection, which is your collection name, which makes sense because you can navigate to other collection name that you have. So if I go in clean, going to be in the clean collection. So you kind of need to have a title at some point, but it's not like necessary, you know? And in the discovery, because we have like discovery as the main title, but then we have layering and assistant, these title at the top makes no sense because it's a bit redundant with the tab that I'm selecting. So I'm debating just removing the title as well, like I did here, because there was just marked profile at the top, which makes no sense. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There is a lot of really teeny tiny thing that I'm just debating about all day and seeing if some things makes more sense than others. And so far, I'm kind of lost on these. I don't know. Specifically, like the cards, I have a lot of issues with how I have presented them. They're good-ish, and that's the issue. They could be good-ish better, but no. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That was a weird move. Yeah, I can show you this. If I do 5 cards, like it's a lot of things to go back to the first one, and also the fan itself is kind of too much because they all come from the same angle. Like it's as if the anchor was the bottom right corner. So it looks kind of weird when they are moving together, and then because you can move to like both direction, it's kind of fine. But eh, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. Nonetheless, it's there. It's working. It's an option. I feel like this is something that could be useful in the future. I'm thinking personally that three are going to be the sweet spot for most people, because you want your two main recommendation plus one accessory as an option. So, eh, why not? But yeah, that is where we are. Also, Techie, I don't know if you answered the question. You may have, and I missed it. Um, you said V2, and I said, where's V1? And I didn't see anything. Didn't see any answer to that. But yeah, that's the thing. We have like a lot of things that have happened, I would say, in the past few weeks-ish, design related, that are not really moving the design community into a direction yet. It's scattered around a lot of things, like a lot of design trends that are coming up in stealing from Japanese artists, stealing from Chinese artists, and that's usually what happens. But it's more flagrant than other things, and it's not like everyone has moved to a very specific style, not yet. So that's interesting. That's good to know. Like there is still individuality in the design community here and there, but it's still not as good. Um, so we'll see. We will see. I need to take that off. But yeah. Huh. Goddamn. Goddamn, it's hot around here. I don't know why it's so hot for me. In like outside being 14 degrees is too hot. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. We have, however, so going back to where I was, right about here. As said, I'm debating this overall environments section where things would need to happen in order to, make the card itself be better, I guess. I guess I would go for dark mode for sure based on, personal preferences and so on. But mm, I don't know. I don't know. There is this thing with currently speaking, these patterns at the top and bottom of the cards that seem to be something that is a bit of a trend. So I don't know if I want to keep that. It's the same thing as the coffee shop, uh, which we talked about many times, I guess. This is something from some of the first year of streaming. And so we built these like environment cards for the coffee and the description of all of the coffees and so on. So we had that in Figma as presentation, but Again, it's not like that good. It is interesting, but it's also like not the most understanding or understandable pattern for most people. Like they don't really recognize this. The goal from this, or the ID source for this thing, was um, if you go to Trade Coffee, which is some of the references that we have, bitch, get it. Basically, we used these um, bags of coffee to get references on how the labels were used across all of the things. So we had shit like this as reference, and a lot of the other bags that we have in there have kind of similar overall labels to help the people just see what's inside, how it is working, what's the roast, and so on for all of the components and properties of the coffee itself. So that was the idea here, to get something that was matching with um, the coffee itself. And, you know, it was fun. It was a fun exercise. Nonetheless, that doesn't change the fact that this was the idea. This was the build. The stamps slash tabs slash, I don't know how to call them, perforated edges, is something that we did so long ago. Like, this is a 3-year-old file that has been edited 3 years ago. And it's probably like way older than that. Um, yeah, that's May 2021, but that's not like the creation. That's the May 6th, 2021 is the first year. So it's been like a long time, more than 4 years. Um, eh, it works. It's interesting. But it works because it doesn't have an image. That's the thing that pisses me off. Because right now, if based on the thing that we have on TikTok, let me see if I have one that I can just lop out easily. Um, this one makes no sense. I just saw one, that's why I'm like just scrolling back up to see if I can find the thing in question. Apparently I can't. God damn. Yeah. Most people are doing these. Um, so you're seeing like the notes and the bottle in the center, which would mean, again, going back to what we were saying with tech in the beginning of the stream, that is roughly something that would work for a, a builder of its own. Like, I would be able to provide the image of the bottle itself so that you can place it in the center, and then you can have a grid in the background, and you can put whatever the fuck you want in the background. But it's not necessarily something that is good, at least for me in terms of features. So to be checked. But yeah, and most people are doing these. I know doing back and forth in the views, but like most people are doing these where you have a cool artsy picture in first, and then you have the bottle and the notes, and the bottle and the notes, and so on. So that's very, very simple, and it works. So again, if I just provide the notes and the bottle, we should be good enough. But I also feel like this might be not good enough. Um, and It could work. Again, it could work. It's very easy for me to do something like this in terms of the layout and the things and whatever it is. Let me see if I can do that. Um, let's take this one because there is a lot. This one is same, three, cool. Then, so that we have them as references. That is the point. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, god damn. So, with that in mind, if I just use this one as a reference because it's kind of the same layout, right? What they have is way smaller everything. Like it's a very way small everything. Um, so the bottle image that I have right here would be based on what they have, would be somewhere around here, maybe a bit smaller than this. So it's like a 600-ish bottle size. And then you have the notes around here, which I placed at the bottom. And so from my point of view, I could 100% just move that to the side in a way that just match. It needs to be kind of fixed-ish because, that needs to happen. And then you would have the notes on this side, and then the bottom section would be either notes, like manual notes, editorial thing, or something else. That would be an option. That would be an option. But yeah, I don't know. It feels so small. I would say that's my issue on this. Um, I wouldn't have that. You know, like that would be enough if it's just the bottle and the notes. And then again, the notes is all of that. So there's a lot of things that could work with this, but it's just a matter of figuring out exactly what needs to happen and how I can place them together. I just hate it. uh, yeah. I don't know. Like that, it seems like it's a good option. The issue that I would have with that is the same as usual. Um, if we take this reference again, this buffer, for example, is going to be small, very simple as a bottle to just play with. However, if I go with this one, it's such a large ass fucking bottle. It means that for this to work here, either the bottle needs to be so small or the notes needs to be in a different position, and I can't really programmatically define that in advance. I mean, I could, but it's just not that good. So that's the situation. That's the issue. A lot of the bottles that we have are weird when it comes to their shapes, and so you end up with like some bottles that are bigger than others, um, some that are like smaller but not entirely, but kinda. Some that are just skinny and would look like nothing in comparison with the view. So that's the issue specifically with like perfumers that create shit like this. Who does that? Look at it. Uh, every bottle comes with a pair of scissors. That's so much waste. It's so much waste. Same thing here. The hand is just the cap. The perfume is right there. So, it's not the best. Not the best. So yeah, I don't know. I've been like debating on this fucking thing for the past week. I've been trying to figure out the right layout, the right thing, and I end up being in a very, very similar environment every fucking time, and it doesn't really make any sense to me. So, I don't know. I don't know. Mm, it's almost good. That is almost good. Mm, maybe, maybe. I'm basically going back to the thing that we saw last week from um, the thing that I forgot. Yes, that makes sense. Um, where were they? Where's this thing? This one? No. The person that was saying that they had taken their grandma stamps collection as a reference to create like an app environment to collect stamps and just do the illustrations and so on. And we talked about it for a bit, and it's somewhere around here. It's supposed to be somewhere around here. uh, come on. I know I liked to post about it. Probably one of them is on Threads and not necessarily here, but again, if we could just search, search would be useful. That one was for cross keys, we do remember that. There was a lot for Techie as well, there was a lot of things for you um, in the past few weeks. That's the one. This one specifically because of the way that the stamps are looking and the illustrations, all of that, the layout of stamps would be really impressive and interesting to have. I know as well that Xiaongshu, I don't know if I'm logged in on this one, also has like a lot of things that are going to be similar to stamps. And so I saved so many. And obviously, because I'm saying that, I'm not going to find them. But it has been a while. Um, what is this thing? There's like a lot of Japanese stamps being displayed, and that was really good for the layout. Forgo, hi, what's going on? Congrats on being alive. That happens. That happens. Not to everyone, but yeah, congrats. How are you? How's the day going? So yeah, these things, for example, did I press twice? No, cool. These ones are pretty interesting for how they look and so on, but when I'm looking at the layout, um, a lot of these things would make sense for like specificities of, oh, I have a bottle that is a tall bottle, I can use that layout. I have a bottle that is like a bit of a wide bottle, I can use that layout instead. So that's something that could happen, but it's not necessarily something that I have in mind that I just thought about right away, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, 100%. But like this one is really cool for an overall layout. So it's a bit of a wider thing, wider stamps that you can have on your stories, on your TikTok, on whatever. It could be really interesting to have. So yeah, I don't know. I'm debating, but yeah, there has been like a lot of these things, a lot of cards, a lot of illustrations, and so on that have been really, really cool for inspiration. Like this would be amazing. Not gonna lie, this would be an amazing thing to have if I could have someone do the illustrations for each. That would be great, but that's not the case. So yeah, but there's been a lot of stamps again. How am I? I'm okay. I'm tired, and for some reason, for the past 2 days, my heart rate is not heart rate, blood pressure is lower than expected. So that's bad. Uh, that's not a good thing. We don't like it, but yeah, it happens. So yeah. Also, this one was pretty cool for me specifically. Having flowers and so on. Um, yeah, there's another one with stamps that I liked. I don't know what it is. An app ID. Um. All right, I'm gonna give you something. Um. Everyone is busy. Everyone is looking at their own project, their own product, their own things, and basically you sharing the information doesn't mean that someone is going to steal the ID. And if someone steals the ID, they just have the ID. They don't have the background process that you've done to reach that ID. And a lot of people had the idea of Uber. A lot of people had the idea of food delivery apps as a concept and so on, but they didn't execute it. So they never did the thing. And so you hear a lot of people say, oh yeah, I had this idea in 1980 something, and I did nothing about it because I didn't think it would work. The difference in between success for an app or project or whatever is, did you do the work or did you not do the work? If you did the work and the thing is good, there is probable success behind it. There is a ton of thing that goes into it, but it happens. For example, today I sent a DM to one of the TikTok users that I contacted that told me that basically they are also a dev/designer person in the perfume industry or interested in the perfume industry, and they're also building an app for the perfume collection. You know, it happens. The thing is, They are also building an app for perfume collection. It's not on the stores. It's not available. It's not. It's not there yet, and mine is. So that's the type of thing that you can have in your head, at least. If that's scaring you, that's something, first of all. The second thing is if you are just starting, you just had the idea and you don't have anything defined just yet, feel free to not share. The thing that I had, I feel like this was 2 years ago now. Someone had the exact same thing, said the exact same thing. They said, I'm not sure, I don't want to share specifically on stream because I don't want someone to steal the ID. And then we ended up sharing the ID that they hadn't started with just yet. And I just said, oh yeah, this thing already exists. It's that app right here that has been available for the past 5 years. And they just used the app instead of building it because it did exactly what they were looking for. So that's also something. If you are looking for an app or project or something that does exactly what you have in mind right now, you might not find it because you don't have the references, and just sharing the ID might done do things. Cat, hi, welcome in. Congrats on the confettis for the 10 times today. Lol, it happens. These ones are also really cool as a concept. We talked about it before. That's an app to save elements and things and whatever, and it saves them in stamps. There is something that is not really good about it, but there is something that is really good about it. And most of the layouts and the um, like um, yeah, layout building stuff is really nice. So yeah. Uh, no, no. Your streak is good. My streak is the streak system that I have is broken since the computer got reset. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And yes, I am a good counselor for a lot of things, but there is a lot of things that you don't need or want to trust me on. It depends. It depends. I have knowledge on stuff, but not necessarily everything. But I agree. I mean, there are still things that I'm here to help. So um, that's what I do. Can I find this thing? I can't. I cannot. But yeah, these fucking stamps have been really, really coming all the way for everything in the past few months, and a lot of people are doing these things. And so, with that in mind, right, um, that is where the idea of stamps for sharing is a potential good idea. It's also a good idea in my head because it is somewhat of a sticker. It's an older version of a sticker. So but yeah, you are probably at 200. Okay, um, Stony is currently at 230 something, 70 something. I forgot. A lot, a lot. All that to say, Fogo, share the ID. Maybe, I don't know. Or make it not as obvious as it is. Like, we talked about that before. You could say something like, I'm building the ID is a food delivery app. That's vague enough. There's probably a twist to it. But yeah. Oh, the freelance license. I missed that. Sorry, my bad. Um, you need a license? Why do you need a license? Just open Open a company in France. It's free. A listening app, like a voice assistant type of thing. Yeah. But these concepts are pretty cool. Um, Specifically that layout. I like that layout a lot. But it's the same thing. It is like a layout builder, and therefore there is like a lot of thing that needs to be taken into consideration when you're building the thing. And they have this really good thing in the beginning, like that section here is where you're taking the picture. It highlight the element itself, and then you can place it wherever you kind of want. It's usually going to be at the center of the stamps, but you would probably have the ability at some point to, move it up or down and so on. So that's interesting, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I see. Here is the thing, Cat, the usual girl math your way through the 200 bucks. Would you make 200 bucks back in the first year of having that freelance activity? If that's the case, then good. Um, if you can make it back in a month and it's necessary to be able to make it back in a month, and once you have the license, you don't need to renew that every single year. It's not like 200 bucks a year. It's just once. Do it. Like specifically if you have the opportunity to just do the thing directly, like just do the fucking thing. It's a bit of a pain in the ass for the first months because you're like, fuck, I have 200 bucks less this month to do stuff. But then you get paid and you're like, well, I have, I don't know, 1,000 bucks more now than I had at the beginning of last month. So, fine. Just 1 month with restriction, or more restriction than usual. Um, you know, that's not true. I get it, but that's not true. And then again, it's always something that you can um, span out, kind of, to make sure that you have everything in multiple months, multiple years. Doesn't cost you too much in one go. It will cost you much in one go, but you can budget and so on. I believe in you and your ability to do that. You should be fine. So, yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I mean that stamp app is basically the initial thing that triggered some of the IDs, but like these ones are also like some of the initial creation that I've seen that were really good for um, flowers in general, and they've made like so many stamps ish cards ish thing with illustration that work 100% with like perfume collections for flowers and so on. That's really good. I would say my main issue for me, just my for me, yes, bitch, um, is the fact that flowers and perfumes make a lot of sense, but a lot of perfumes don't have flowers in them. So that's annoying. Other than that, it's neat. It's neat. Um, yeah, I mean, hmm, I don't know. Wouldn't you not look for a job if you had the freelance stuff that is paying you enough? Like if you, there's a lot of people, and also that's it depends on the person, and I know that's different. Like for me, it's not my case, but for a lot of people that I've known, they have been interested in freelancing and never went to do that, and then one day they do it, and basically their freelance business works, and that would basically makes it much better. And it's not because they had so much work coming in. It's because the fact that being in the freelance environment just gave them so much ideas of things to do that they just ended up with a lot of very good clients after a while. So, you know, like it, in my eyes and in my head, it could be something that you do where you become a freelancer right now, even if it's like in Belgium. It costs you 200 bucks. Cool. I know it's annoying, but that happens. And then you get paid, which again, you could get like as a freelancer, you can get 30% upfront and then 20% in the middle and 20% at the end, whatever, the length of the fucking thing. And these 30% upfront would cover the 200 bucks, depending on the clients and the things and the opportunity that you have. And I know that it's different and it's specific and so on, but it's an option. So I wouldn't delay it, to be honest. And I wouldn't delay it in part for like this is something that I will do only if I find a job so that I know exactly what I need to get that license. I would just say I'm getting the license. Terracon, hi, welcome on in. And from there, I'm working, you know. Um, yeah, but that's the thing that I was saying. Like I've known some people that were exactly saying that. Um, and and basically said, I don't know how to do this, but I didn't really have a choice. And then it just worked. Something clicked in the first few weeks because I really didn't have a choice, and it works. So that can happen. Like the same thing happened to me. Not really, but kind of same thing happened to me where basically I don't know how to reach out to people, right? In the yams and so on. I don't know. That's not something that I do most of the time, and that I don't like it. Anyways, 3 days ago I started doing it, and now I'm just doing it every day, all day. I've sent like 200 messages to people that are related to like the perfume industry or perfume in general on TikTok and so on to see if they can just check out the app. Maybe they get interested, maybe they not get interested. I don't know. It's a free app, so there is nothing to lose from their side. And for my side, I can just see the numbers going up. So, like it's a very, very simple thing that sometimes you just need to be in the flow to trigger something that just force you to go through oh yeah, well, I don't have a choice. I need to market myself. That's it. And it's one way or another. And that kind of worked. So, it's a thing. It's not necessarily something that will be easy. I'm not saying that it's like will be the case every time and you don't have to be worried about it. But yeah, no. It's the thing. So these cards that I just looked at were pretty interesting because of the layouts, but it's also like a lot of work for the creations. Them titties be tittying. That happens. But you can't see them. Hopefully. Um, I guess these ones were also really interesting for the vibe of it in terms of illustration. Um, they look really good. They are very simple to do. And very cute illustration, very cute color schemes and choices. Obviously, these things would be amazing to have as like editorial for the perfumes that I have in the app. But the main issue that I have with that is that it would imply some sort of a per perfume editorial CMS where basically the images, the thing that I've defined, can't really be uh, not generated, but like automated, right? So that's kind of sad. But yeah, I need to pee 1 second. They gave it to me. Yeah, they gave that to me. They gave me a cap as well, but I gave it back because I don't wear caps. Um, but yeah, it was basically right now in here at that instant in Japan, there is a pop-up store for Figma, specifically for Figma Make, that they have, and it looks really cool and so on. And they had the same thing in Paris last month, the beginning of last month or middle of last month. And because I was part of the people that made some of the illustration that they have displayed in the buildings in Paris, they gave me a t-shirt. Yes. So yeah, that shop looks so nice. I know where it is. I went there before, but goddamn, they did pretty good in the presentation this time because compared to the one that we had in Paris, it's like this one is so much better. It makes sense. This one is the Japanese version, so the Japanese team took over. And Hiroki, which is the design advocate in Japan, um, is the person that I met when I was living in Japan. So really cool to see that he's still like doing some presentations and so on. But yeah. Um, it is. I also think that there is like the light bulbs themselves are the yellow one, and so there is like a color temperature in the room itself that makes it even more orange and warm compared to other things. But yeah, no, they have done a very good job overall um, in the presentation, and you know, it's neat to see. I know they have reposted shit before, I guess not. I should just look at medias. Media is going to be faster. That's the one they had in France. They don't have a lot more images than this, to be honest, which is really sad. Um, but yeah. It's neat. It's neat. They have flowers, they have coffee, they have the Figma Make things, which I'm so sad about, by the way. These things. Let me just go there. These. Where you at? There. So that's the one we had. Obviously, this is like not edited pictures, anyways. But you know, like that was the environment. So really, really cheap compared to Japan. These things, these displays are basically screens with Figma Make prompts predefined. I think there is 6 of them, and so you can select one of them, and then it just makes something for you, which is already done. So basically, a website with predefined pages, which makes no sense. And it's there to present what Figma Make can do, which is basically do the code for you, and then you have something that works right away. And for the sake of the presentation, they had to do this like structured presentation type of thing where you can't really go out of your way to create something on your own. You are forced to use one of the prompts, which is already pre-selected and preloaded in the display, the screen, the whatever. That is so sad because it, in my views, what the people will see and have seen is, oh, I can write something and it does it perfectly the first time. That's the perception that they will have, and therefore they will go into testing the app and it doesn't work. And they try again and it gives them something absolutely different because it's not deterministic and you have different versions every time. And then you ask again for the exact same prompt and it gives you something else. And I fear the people that just came in for the screens or just came in and saw the screen and didn't go through the entirety of the boot camps things and the talks and so on, they would not really understand that you end up with something different every time. And that's the issue to me. It's a lot of issues. But yeah, no, it's a nice environment. Nonetheless, cool stuff. Cool stuff. But yeah, so no, they gave it to me. They gave it to me because of that. Me being on the building is the reason. But yeah, no. Other than that, where are these fucking stamps that I've seen? It's been a while. This is a long time ago by now. Kyle, hi, we're calling. Musica? What do you mean? What do you mean? These ones? No, these not. Oh. These cards makes no sense. These are not the one that I'm looking for. These ones, however, are something that I was thinking about, kind of. I'm good. I'm tired, as always. But like these illustration pack and things are kind of common right now to have like color. Chris, welcome on in. Welcome back. Collage is the name that I'm looking for. So this is a bit of a trending thing, and I feel like this is something that I would appreciate inside of the app as abstract shapes for the backgrounds and so on. But I thought about it and it doesn't make any sense. So we'll see. We will see. It will be soon. Maybe I will figure it out at some point. But yeah, it was okay. We crossed the 115 downloads, so that's something. Um, we made $20. And apparently it doesn't want to load today. That's so sad. That's so sad. Well, that's some ads. Um, I guess the stream is gonna lag soon. So yeah, we had 2,000 impression in the past. I was about to say in the past 30 days because that's the length that we have, but because the launch was like 2 weeks ago, um, we basically had 2,000 since the launch, which is pretty cool. It's the kind of the same thing as uh, what I had with Can, same basic spike, and then it stabilized, and then it's the regular thing. So impression I'm believing remaining around the 50 to 100 a day, roughly, unless I figure out fucking marketing again. That's for later. Made $20 on the first day. Basically, the app was released version 0 on the on the 22nd, and on the 23rd, someone bought the app. Like, no questions asked, nothing, just right away. So that was pretty cool. Um, it's someone that was on TikTok and said, "Oh yeah, I need this. This is exactly what we need," and so on. So that was nice of them to follow through. A lot of other people that have said that they would have bought the app right away didn't. So that's kind of sad. But other than that, session per user is really nice to have. Like the fact that a lot of users have been testing the app at like one session, two session per day, meaning like the amount of time that they are opening the app. So that's really cool. Um, Other than that, that's it. Nothing else. 115 is is pretty nice, but when you look at the data overall from lifetime, you end up with like not much. Also, it's just live since the 22nd, so that's not a lot. It won't be a lot when you're going to this one, for example, from full life cycle. We have a lot more views, a lot more things happening, but yeah, that's bad. That conversion rate at 14% is really bad. Need to fix that. I need to do a lot of marketing for Can. I need a lot of marketing um, for perfume, for everything. I hate marketing. It's so bad. So yeah, that is the current situation. The good thing that I'm obviously seeing is the fact that US, UK, Japan, Germany, and India are the top countries for the download location. So that's pretty nice. It makes sense that the US was first, but yeah, and most people are downloading on iPhone, which is really good because the others are not optimized. Like the desktop version is just crashing. That's all it does. It's just crash. It doesn't do anything else. So yeah. Uh, But yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. It's an okay launch. 6% conversion rate is really bad. Goddamn. Goddamn. I would say the current thing that I'm doing for the marketing, as in DMing people and asking them to give me some feedback on the app if they have the time and so on, is a bit of a sneaky way of getting some downloads. But it's also like kind of skewing the data, as in from because the data is kind of wrong, right? It's from the six, and we are the sevens, so I don't really have the data of the six nor the sevens yet. So it is delayed, and there is sometimes a bit more delays in one day. The fact that it's one day is pretty impressive today. Nonetheless, the fact that I'm sending people DMs with basically the link to the website, that's the wrong thing. And then they arrive here, they can download it, right? It basically means that this is going to be my referrer in terms of uh, website transmission. So arriving on this page through my website means that I'm the referrer every time, and it's a for sure transition and a for sure conversion, which is really bad. But you know, that's neat. We have one review. But that review is really weird to me. Like they say, I haven't done much digging into the pricing model. However, I'd love an option to pay one-time fee for unlimited access to add fragrances, offline support, and localized AI for the recommendation feature, which is absolutely not something that we want. So that's, that's good. But then if you just, open the app and you used the app for a split second and you've reached your profile and you clicked on the upgrade extract, which is like basically 2 clicks from the home page, you know how much it will cost and what it will give you. And if you, if you just do that, first of all, you have your pricing model. But then they also talk about the fact that they want this to be available offline. It doesn't need the internet to function in any way, shape, or form, which is the good thing. It needs that for the images, but that's it. So it is available offline by default. And then the AI recommendation model for the things in front is something that is absolutely stated in the description of like no AI in the app. Everything is for you, by you, to you. That's it. So I will take the 5 stars. Yes. Do I trust that person has used the app? No. Not really. So yeah, that's the thing. There is a lot of thing that needs to happen for these metrics to change. And they will, but not today. So it will take a bit. That's all I'm saying. It will take a bit for them to get the metrics up and for me to get the marketing system to be working and be in my system. So yeah. If your and cat for the drive question thing, if your Google Drive is like the basic version, yes, that's going to be something. Why did I go back to this screen when this is the thing that I wanted to showcase? Same thing as the previous one that I just shared. These are really cool stamps and patterns and so on, but specifically these ones. I'm personally drawn to that, and specifically based on the potential that it has for me in terms of that stamps card things at the top could have the name of the perfume, some small description like the olfactory family in which that perfume is currently living, and then the perfume bottle would be around here. That would be pretty cool. There would be a very empty space around here because that makes no sense, but we never know. And then the bottom section could be the olfactory profile of that perfume so that you have the information, meaning that, you know, you would have this thing at the bottom with the olfactory profile, and then the bottle would be around here. So I feel like this is a pretty cool thing, but I don't know exactly how people would use that as a story post or a TikTok video or something. Like it doesn't necessarily work. So yeah. Again, if they have a big phone, they can just take a screenshot of this and they have everything they need. But they might be missing some notes right there. So I don't know. And also there is no fucking images for the notes yet. So we'll see. We will see. But yeah, that is the thing that we talked about. Um Going back to these, because we kind of stopped last. There was one for Italians in there. I think Kat would probably agree. Different agreement, but probably would agree. I think we stopped. Yeah, we stopped there. There was these icons that I saw while we were streaming on Wednesday, which are pretty cool. They are just bringing back some of the cute details that we talked about before that Luke is doing very well with the gradient holographic things. So that's the only reason. There is some of that in the edges of the clouds. Like there is a bit of pink around here and a bit of blue around here. That's really neat. And yeah, there is a lot of really small details on this that makes these icon and illustration a bit more interesting than if they were plain. So, you know, just mentioning that. Jay doing a lot of really cool stuff as always. We had these cards that, going back to some of the newest thing that I've been talking about, which is the organic steps of design languages. These feel like an organic grid, specifically with the hover effect and so on. I don't want to be that guy again, but that grid specifically, not saying that I have it right here, but I kind of do. Anyways, anyways, uh, we had the same thing that uh, we talked about last week. This is a very interesting thing. This is a I forgot exactly how it's called, but it's basically you send an image and then you have a head that can be animated and that can look around and look at your cursor and so on based on whatever you define. It's pretty impressive. It is pretty impressive. We had this thing, and I'm so sad about it, but I get it, but I'm so sad about it. So, this app specifically has a lot of very interesting design choices that they have made in the past few months for creating an interface that just looks fun and looks like some of the interfaces that we used to have and used to build for games and other platforms. This is something that is mostly a community slash social media ish platform where you can react to news, to other events, to things in your friend groups, and so on. And what I don't like here is the fact that I am 99% sure, I don't know, maybe there is a 1% that is unsure, that all of these things have been AI generated. And I'm sad about it because it's it is feasible design wise to create something that looks like this, but the awful tint of yellow in these images, like that, there, like there is, as we say, a lot of piss filter. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Um, we've had This was kind of more for Melly and Mel, both of them. This is Blender. This is a shader in Blender. So if you were looking for realistic painting and drawing like a manga type illustration, but you just know how to make Blender models, well, you can simply just paint it out and end up with something that just look as hand painted as it can be. This is really impressive, and I love Blender for that. I love Blender for that. Um, we had these things which were really, really simple. This one was really interesting, but same thing. I feel like something is wrong and weird about this image. Is so to be checked for later. Um, we kind of talked about these effects before. We talked about these mockups before, that they were all over my feed. They are all over my feed. I just don't use them. So that happens. This one was cute. This is an invoice for some design work, and they just have fucking flowers in the bottom left corner. I don't know if that's making any difference, but maybe that's something that is shared between clients as goddamn, these invoices look good, and you just talk about it in Slack or something. I think it's too cheap right there, the way that it's presented and the way that it's pasted in. There is no like uh purposeful placement in my view right there. It's just like, oh yeah, we have an empty left corner, let's put something in there. They could have put it in the right corner, it would have been the same thing. But yeah, if it had like maybe a gradient transition with the rest of the text, maybe going a bit on the forward translation or something, maybe having it grow up to the edge a tad, that could be interesting. But it's nonetheless really cool. Nonetheless, really cool. Um, we had that, so that's the Italian thing for cats specifically. Maybe you will relate, but like that's basically a thing saying don't trust anything in Italy. All of the walls are painted 3D so that it looks like there are molding, but no, I think it's flat. It's pretty impressive when you're just looking at it from far away, and specifically through the stream. It probably looks like 3D stuff. So, you know, it's really going back to what we've said before. That is simply understanding how light works. So when you know how light is going to impact your shape, you can 100% just get that in no time. And with sharp lines, you get something that feels natural. The one that has been in all of this thing, the one that is the most complex, are going to be these, because you have like 3 colors, 5 colors inside of each of the concave cylinder. But yeah, it's a nice thing. It's a nice light to have on your walls. But yeah, that happens. That happens. Um, we had still not a car guy, but this was pretty cool. I don't know what that is, but it's neat. It looks nice. It looked nice. So I saved it as always. Um, then we had something earlier today, kind of kept for no reason. Um, there has been a thing that I shared earlier on TikTok that is like, and I'm so sad about it because the designer herself that has made the video is probably proud of what they've made and so on, but they have said something they've done a video of one of these logo is AI generated and the other one is mine, which is which. I let you just guess, and then I'm telling you which one it is. And the thing is, the AI generated looks better than the thing that they are creating. And their reasoning for the thing that they are creating is good, but the execution is just so bad. And I'm sad about it because I can't like just say that because they are proud of their work and so on, but it's like you made so many mistakes and the AI generated creation was so much better and it just needed a bit of a fix. And that is basically the same situation where um like one of them is AI generated, the other isn't. And in this case specifically, if I don't, if I'm not wrong, this one is the AI generated, and it is so much better than this. This is so busy. If you look at the details that we have in there, there is like a dot matrix type of thing in the background. There is a gradient on the numbers to make them like kind of rounded, but that's never the case. The dot itself is way too bright for what it's supposed to be. And when you look at the other one, that color is really cool. This black is not black, it's blue black. And the rest is just, it has enough space, it can go through, and it's neat. There is no background that bothers me. It's an off, like, color kind of thing for the black specifically. So, you know, it just makes more sense. And that's really sad because a lot of people are doing these. One is AI and one is mine. Which one is better? And most of the time, sadly, for these people who are doing this, the AI generation of the UI is much better than their stuff. So, that's sad. That is really sad. I wish that wasn't the case, but apparently that is. So, yeah. We'll see if that changes in the future. Um, this one was really cool. And going back to some of my first version of the background notes in the perfume app that I had in mind, something like this, not exactly with the edges, but at least the explosion from the center, is something that I had in mind for the volatility of some of the notes in said perfume. So something that is acidic and very volatile would have a lot of speed when it like is popping off all around, and something that is more mellow, a bit more lenient, and remain lingering on the person. That's something that would remain a bit more slowish when it's moving around. That was some of the idea, and then for some reason I couldn't figure it out, so it's not. But yeah, this one is really cool. This one is a really cool transition. Um, I should have just waited. This is the fucking screen that I need to have. I have a lot of beef with this. They are saying this is where liquid glass really shine. And I might be the only one. I don't know. But I think the entire presentation here is what not to do with liquid glass, which is exactly what Apple said. And I know that these are just like zoomed in and it's probably like a small version of the UI overall, like it's something that would be at the bottom of the screen or something. But goddamn, is it exactly what they said in the docs to not do? Like basically they say make sure that you don't have too much glass on top of glass and glass in specific corners of the app, so it doesn't overwhelm the user with the effects. And you want the glass to shine, you want the glass to be something that enhanced the experience and the visual experience of the user. And right here, it just feels like, oh, we could do that in glass, so we just have that in glass because it's an option. and it's just bothering me so much. Specifically, the transitions are just not that good. So, small details. Small details. But yeah, that was the whole thing. Going back to these ones I was talking about. That's so sad. That's so sad. Uh, the screen was sad, but the outside was really cool. Um, that, however, is really sad. And you know that only if you've been in Japan and you've been there for a while. So I'm guessing this is because they arrived prior to, and the gacha machine were like um, not filled just yet. So that's the reason. But because it is in transparent plastic bags outside of the business, this is the way that we are putting the trash outside of the business before the trash truck are coming. It needs to be in transparent bags. So this looks like it's just trash in front of the store, which is really sad, specifically with the colors and so on. If you look at um, some of the some of these from far away, because of the colors of the cans being multicolors, and the fact that the gacha balls are also multicolors, if you just glance at it from walking past the store, you could believe that this is just trash in front of the store that is currently opening and have like an event going on. That's really sad. So, you know, but nonetheless, this is something that most people will never know unless the people that are in Japan, which the event takes place in Japan. So, not good. Ah, but yeah, that's a thing. These that I kind of saved are the bit of a stealing from Asian culture illustration thing for the presentation of your content that is coming back. It's been a while. Like we had that in 2016, and then it went out, and then it's coming back. So that's interesting. That was the only point that I had on this. Only point that I have. I have another thing on Threads, but Threads is just such a minefield that would not would not attempt. Um, but yeah, we had this thing. Let me save that for. Threads is just so bad. Yeah, no. In the meantime, the thing that I'm looking at, if you haven't seen, there is an update to Dia browser that is now adding a new thing that is exactly the same thing that we have on Arc. So their goal is to make sure that the people that are currently using Arc are basically using Dia now instead of Arc, which makes sense because Dia is going to be paid or has like something that is payable and monetizable inside. So that is the reason. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Um, and there is also this other thing that is a bit different, but pretty interesting nonetheless, which is IKEA has released a new set of connected devices that are now using um, Matter instead of Zigbee, and apparently it is cheaper than the previous versions. So we don't really know how they decided to make them cheaper than expected, but they are IoT and connected devices for your house in a cheaper form factor, or in a cheaper price, in a better form factor. The design is pretty cool. So all of that is good to know. All of that is good to know. Let me just go back to what I'm talking about. So there was this thing that I was thinking about for the journaling entries in your perfume collection. So you could just swipe through what you've said about the perfume that you're currently testing or you had in the past, which is some of my initial take. I don't know how to do that though, but I'm really glad that this person has done it because this is really good. This is a very good rendering of that page turning thing. And because, again, the goal of the app is a journaling app for your perfume collection, you would want to have something that is just as organic as a journaling thing. I would have a lot more space. Um, like, or I would take a lot more space than this and probably just have like the page that turns in front of rather than opening like this. But yeah, it looks pretty cool nonetheless. This one was the same thing. It's just a very cool illustration of a crow on a hat. That's it. That would be a very good profile picture. This one was a very interesting point, and I wanted to point out something. Iconly is known for these icons. And here they are also presenting the 3D icon right there, which I think, personally speaking, is the star of this. Like here, the icons themselves don't really stand out that much. That kind of does. So I'm debating that they probably have a set of 3D icons that are coming in soon-ish, if it's not already there, that they will market the same way that they are doing the other things, but like a bit smaller batches at a time. So that's very interesting. Good move on their end. Um, such. This one is wild to me. This is a mood tracking journaling kind of thing. So obviously I'm looking at them. The design doesn't match the content in any ways to me. Like something is just off. Not by much, just by a smidge. And it feels so wrong to have the illustration, specifically here, the crying illustration not being really happy and so on, with the background that is so happy and joyful and so on, when I'm guessing this is the onboarding, which means, again, I'm guessing it would make so much more sense if you start the onboarding with someone that is kind of crying and not really happy, with a background that is really raining and gray and not good. And then you move to step two, and it's a bit more joyful, and then you move to step three of the onboarding, which gives you the hint that oh, it's going to become joyful later. So there is something, at least for me, from what I'm seeing here, that just doesn't match with the two things. The rest of the app itself, it's fine. Obviously biased with my own apps that are taking like specifically for uh, perfume that has background that changes based on the perfume itself that you have. That's the first thing. But specifically here, that background there is taking or taken from your perfume collection, and the notes in your perfume collection. What are the top notes, most important notes, and the overall like um, color of these notes are going to impact the background. So if you have something, which is my case, which is mostly woody, mostly yellowish, brown in the color scheme, I'm going to have a brownish color scheme with a bit of a blue at the top. And that's just like personalized to me. If someone is mostly like roses and fruits, it's going to be kind of red or pink. So that's the type of thing that can happen. And I would have this as well here if this is something that is like supposed to be bound to the user mood and perception and stuff. It would make a lot more sense if that background was changing based on the user moods really, rather than being the same every time. Nonetheless, that's the only thing that I wanted to say about this one. And then the IKEA thing is these, or are these, which are really cool, really cute looking, very simple, very minimalistic, but they are really nice. And, eh, it's neat. It is neat. So, we like it. We like the design of this. Nonetheless, that is the thing. Um, so yeah, I'm debating going back to the initial question of the perfume description called social media stuff. I do think that some sort of a social sharing builder could be interesting, like the Strava one that we talked about earlier, because it will help to make the app discoverable. The thing that I'm scared of is the requirements in there in order to not be associated with stuff that is not good. So, by creating a social media picture share environment that, can work and so on, you end up with the ability, specifically if it has a background picture that can be uploaded by the user, you end up with the ability of the user to upload whatever you want to this thing, and then have your logo associated with what they have created. So it's either that, or it's a very, very limited version of this, which would have, again, the perfume bottle, because we already have this, the notes color, and all the notes images when I have everything. Probably will never have everything, but we never know. Because there is like 4,000 notes, and I only have 110, I think, right now in the images. So that's going to take a lot of space on the bundle binary thing that I'm sending to the users anyways. Um, so there's that. And then the other thing is um, there is an in-between of the user can place specific things on a Canva, and then it exports the image for them. Or the very farthest thing, which is the what I had in mind in the first place, I'm giving you a layout, and it's just gonna generate the layout automatically, and that's it. And you can potentially select the size, like, oh, this is square, or this is like a vertical or an horizontal version of this layout. That could work, but I don't know. And I also feel like there is a ton of things that could be implemented. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So yeah, that's the current debate. Nonetheless, which is important, as I said last time, and I'm kind of to that point now. Most, if not all, of the features that I wanted to have in the app in the first place are now there. I think I'm missing two of them, but that's about it. Other than the fucking social share. And that means that the app is kind of done. Done. Anything that I can do on top of it is improvements, performance, and so on, which is pretty cool, which again means that I can either take on another challenge, another project, or work back on Can for some very cool Japanese related stuff, which is pretty interesting. I thought about doing like a video on TikTok as well, where I'm starting the video in Japanese, even making the entire video in Japanese, um, because that would be fun for the people that are following me. That's for the past few months, I guess 2 months now, have been seeing me speaking English for most of the videos, for all of the videos, and speaking English about perfumes, and then one day I'm just speaking Japanese about an app about Japanese. So that's an interesting thing. I don't know if it would work. I know that Will, which is another creator on TikTok that I'm following, it has a very good Japanese pronunciation, and so it would be it. Sometimes he just starts the video in Japanese for a hook, and then switch back to English, which could be an option as well. Um, to get the interaction. It's very simple to say "minasan konnichiwa." It's fine. Like even right there was a bit of an accent, but still, um, it could be a thing. So we'll see if that happens at some point. I have doubts. Um, but yeah, the other ones is potentially creating the app for Android, but I have a lot of doubts in there. As said, the functionality of the apps on Android would be extremely limited, and I don't like this. And the huge benefits of what Apple is providing is so much better than what Android is providing that I'm like, is it worth the time of building the thing directly on Android natively as well, and then have something that is really bad or not as good? I don't know. I don't know. Um, the issue is the bottles. Again, the perfume bottles themselves are going to be really not looking like this, and we're gonna end up with all of the perfume bottles being with like a white background or something, or the image coming from wherever the user is using the thing. So that's really bad, at least from my point of view. And obviously, they have the ability, or at least from here in the iOS version, they have the ability to get there and just upload their own image and remove the background manually if they want to get the output that I want them to have. But it's not necessarily something that will look like this. So I don't know. I don't know. Android is not going to be a priority at all. At all. Yeah. Hmm. You know what? These three, I would disagree. I changed some of the recommendation algorithm as well, which is pretty bad. I can't figure it out. There is something that just doesn't work in the way that I'm presenting the weights of each of the values. So right now, I the algorithm that is currently in the live version of the app is boosting the perfume that you haven't used in a while. So if you have a perfume like this one, for example, that is hasn't been worn in 56 days, for example, that's going to be pushed up, even if it's not necessarily a good match for the weather, for the environment, for the event in which you are going, like the occasion and so on. So that's not great. But then the other thing is, instead of doing it with a 60 days or 30 days speed, we do that with 90 days. It means that if you have a perfume in your collection that is now 90 days old and you haven't worn it in 90 days, it's just at the top by default and it's the same fucking issues. So the amount of weight that everything gets from being in your favorites, having a certain amount of scoring, like for this one, my overall notes is 4 out of 5, which is already pretty high. But then I have like other potentially scoring inside of the app itself. All of these values are just creeping in to push the oldest perfume to the top, which is fine, but it's also like not necessarily the thing that I wanted to have. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. There is probably options that I could change the algorithm again and the weights and so on, but like right now it's just like 53 days, 59 days. Um, but this one is like a 3.6 out of 5, and it's just old. This one is 4 out of 5 as well. And it's a bit less old at 53 instead of 56. So yeah, that's kind of debatable. That's where I would land. It's not great. It's not bad. But the recommendation algorithm needs to be changed again. And right now I don't know exactly what to do. So I need to reassess again the whole recommendation system, the whole weight system, and make sure that it makes sense to really emphasize on the user reviews or the scoring or the weather or the notes or the environment or something else. Or maybe way less than this. Maybe it's just a matter of days since wear and not worn, like need to be tested is a priority, and then tested a long time ago or not finished for tester needs to happen as well. Like the difference between one of these is also really important. Like these ones needs to be finished fast-ish in order for you to get like a good perfume, not a turned one, because that happens, it turned bad, specifically in bags and in plastics container. That's really bad. So these needs to be consumed through faster than a full bottle. But then the full bottle is a full bottle, so you probably bought it because you liked it, and therefore, unless like you are someone that has received PR, but that's something that is different. In which case, you kind of want to have the full bottle to be used like a bit more because it's something that the person likes. So it's like so much, so much needs to happen, and yeah, that's it's a bit of a thing. I need to pee again. 1 second. And also, 1 second before I do that, I feel like this is the reason. Um, this is not the reason. That's crazy. I need to pee though. Also, I just thought about that. This is something that Stony would be pretty happy with, I guess. Stony, hi, what on Um, the the thing that happens right this instant when I'm right here is, and it's sad that I'm about to say that, me spending time on Figma to define the design in question feels like a waste of time. You went to bed at 11 in the morning? That's... Mm-hmm. Congrats. Good job. Yeah. I mean, that's a good reason, isn't it? It's a good reason to stay. But yeah, like that's the thing. It feels like just spending time inside of Figma just doesn't make any fucking sense when I can just do the thing in Swift directly. So yeah. Uh that's pretty nice. Chapters debatable, but pretty nice. Specifically that mini separator. But I get it. Um the reason what I'm saying I don't know is because of that. This one doesn't have it. This one does have it. So maybe it's just like there is a small chapter of nothing in the center, and that's automated. I know, but still. Overall, really good. Overall, really good. You have potentially something that will be an issue. Um, so you decide. But that's nice. That's nice. The thing that, yeah, the thing that is kind of bothering me here is going to be the player icons being here and potentially like could be better to be inside or on top of the player itself so that it liberate a bit of space at the bottom here. The other thing, and I know that this is something that might not be what you want, you tell me if that's the case. This is more functional than visual. On mobile specifically, the volume is controlled by the mobile, not necessarily by the player. And on Android specifically, the volume per app is available in some phones, but not all the phones. So, in my views, if I use the side buttons with the volume rockers on my Android phones or whatever, it's gonna lower the volume, and that's gonna be a system-wide related stuff. So I don't know if it's necessary to have it in the player. That's my first thing that I don't know. It depends on you. Depends on what you want to do. Nonetheless, it doesn't change my initial thinking. You don't have enough space in the center, which is the reason why I kind of want to have these things potentially in the center with the play button, the next and previous potentially on the sides. And then I don't know what these two are, these two tiny ones. I'm guessing is like forward 10 seconds and backward 10 seconds. And then these two are like previous episode and next episodes, which are different, which makes sense. But I would have most of these things around the center player things because it just makes more sense. So the reason for that is smaller screen. I know, and thinking about stuff that don't really exist anymore. But for some reason, let's say you had this. Let me just do that. You're gonna see it's gonna make sense. If I had, that's gonna be wild to check. So close. If you had this, right? That's your screen. Though, if For some reason, let's say you have a player or a screen size that is the same size as the video itself. You will not resize it this way. You would resize it like kind of stretching to keep the same size of icons. And you would end up basically, because right now it's just squished and that makes no sense. You would probably end up with dang. You know, probably. So you end up with something that is not necessarily like good in terms of alignments and placement and so on. And that's the reason I'm saying if you just remove these and you place them around there, now you have enough space for everything. That's going to be better. So, based on what I just said, right, if you decided to do that, saying that the volume is not necessary, that means that the volume goes away. Saying that these things needs to move here, that means that these things move away. The play and pause button is going to be in the center of the screen, so that goes away as well. You just end up with the start time. It's going to be around here. Kind of. Not exactly, but kind of. Not there, but like, you get it. And that's about it, which I feel like might not be balanced enough for the visuals. And so going back to what I said before, when you're looking at how Netflix is doing it, how YouTube is doing it, YouTube is doing a bit of a different job. But like Netflix doesn't really have all of these here. It has some of these at the bottom and some of these at the top as well. So they're basically spread out in the four corners. This could be an option as well. But yeah, nonetheless, overall, really good. Nothing to complain about other than potentially the glass effect slash transparency for some of these models, but like for ease of accessibility, it would be less transparent, which makes sense. So I wouldn't complain about that. And yeah. I also see some of the thing that you've done for simplicity's sake. I guess this might be the only damn. This might be the only one that I'm like, I don't know about that. The text is a lot. There is a lot of text, and I could see a max 3 lines or a max 2-line thing. Just to help. It doesn't change anything in the amount of episodes that you would see per scroll, but yeah, it would make the view a bit less overwhelming, I would say. But yeah, no, overall it's good. Overall it's good. Oh. Whew. Mm. I just saw something. Um, I just saw something. I just see something. I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it, but it feels like it. So I'm gonna just make sure. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be. It's gonna be okay. It's not the radius. For once, it's not the radius. It's worse. Does this one count? I guess, yeah. Okay. So, what's my issue with this? I know. I know. That was my issue. Cool. So I was right. Your titles are not in the same places. Yeah, some of them are have a bit more space at the top than others, and I think it is due to the icons. Um, when you have an icon, basically it bumps the whole row to be a bit higher. So I wasn't sure, but your settings right there have more space. I have less space, sorry, than the rest by a small margin, but I either move everything up when there is um, that amount of things or not. But yeah, that's the initial thing that I had in mind when I was checking. And then let me just check the other way. I mean, these makes no sense to check this way because they are the same. However, I'm seeing this now where one of them is more inside than the others. So either I made a mistake in my cropping, which is an option, or there is a bit of a difference in your spacing as well. So I get it. I get it. But that's the only thing. I, I wasn't sure about this. I know why that's the case. I know that basically the top of your icon at 24 is exactly the same top as your uh, text line top. So it is mathematically the same amount, but they might need to just bump it up when there is an icon and or just add an icon to this one. Like one is easier than the other. So if you just add a close button, indeed, it just will fix the entire thing. So, you know, easy, easy fix. But otherwise, good job. Otherwise, good job. Nothing else. Nothing else to mention. Things are placed properly. They're, as I was saying, you made some choices for simplicity reason, as in this width is the same on all three, except this one because it has more content. I would personally not have that much space if the menu can be like based on the content. When you know what is inside, obviously that makes sense. However, I get it. It's a calc that you need to add that doesn't necessarily improve performance because it will be calculating every fucking time it opens. So by having a fixed size, it just gives you everything and you're done. So easier. I get it. Um, but yeah, that's wild. Other than that, good. It's not really changing size all the time. It's mostly resizing to make sure that it has um, the correct amount of space, like you would expect. Um, you know, like this one is not the same width as this one because this one has more text, and this one is shorter because it has less text inside. So that's basically the regular behavior, at least for me. I understand that from this point of view, it's not like opening up as a drop down menu. It's just resizing the entire thing. So that basically implies that the back button would be in different places. I get it. But yeah, again, it's fine. It is fine. What the? Nothing to say. Nothing to say. Yeah. Again, it's not that different, important thing. Oh, that's my groping. Don't worry about it. You have a half pixel uh, of distance here, but I think this is me. Yeah, kinda. uh, that's neat. That is neat. You know what? I'm gonna move that here. Let's put that in the mess. For no reason. Other than, oh, we can. He just woke up. That's the reason why he's here now. The bitch just woke up. uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Nope. And there's no pull-up reward anymore, so no. It's not happening. I could do that though, yeah. That's for sure. A check potential. Um, There is. That's not the right command T. God damn. So used to be here. Um. mhm. Um. What's that? This one, I watched this one yesterday because it's finally available on Disney Plus, and it was very. It. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting this, but I was surprised. Um, it is not as bad as people have said. It was pretty nice. There was very good visual effect. Mhm. The visual effect were pretty nice, and yes, we do like it. We do like it. We expect to potentially have a lot more stuff around this one, but I have a lot of doubt as well. hmm I I don't know. I don't know if this one is gonna be good. Also, it's in Japanese, so you can't really understand which one I clicked on. But yes, I need to watch this. This one is the other one that I haven't watched just yet. So you know, that is where we are. That is where we are. Um, so yeah, that's good. Um, this one was really good. I'm really happy with this one. A lot of people don't like it as well because it's different. But I was really liking it, and this one is nice. Um, there is a cooldown. I do too. It's just specifically here the fact that now this computer has been resetted. The app itself is not available. I know that there is a version of the app that is potentially useful on Windows, but I don't have that. So yeah, nope. I need to add some text to speech things with points and bits, but yeah. Um, that's the thing. But you know, Just Watch is really nice. The thing is, right now I'm currently watching it in the Japanese version, which is not necessarily what you want to see. God damn it. What do you mean, no? What the fuck is this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to be in Japanese. um, it's a very useful thing to know where things are available. And I talked about, I mean, I discovered it last month and I talked about it to Stony, which knew it or knew about it already. Um, but basically, it gives you where the thing are. So if you have like an Amazon Prime subscription, you basically have access to it. And that's extremely useful when you are looking for stuff to watch. And yeah, you did. You did, but I forgot the name. But it's good. It's really nice. Like right now, I'm looking for or looking forward to See, like some of these things, where are they available? This is on the Amazon Prime and Amazon Video related. So if I have like Prime Video, I might be able to have access to it. That's not necessarily a thing. So it's pretty useful. Um, a lot of these things though are not necessarily where I want them to be, and I'm sad about it. That though is pretty useful. For sure, for sure, for sure. Right flag. Um, I mean, it's really useful to just be there and be like, okay, so if you have Apple TV, you have access to the thing, and you good. If you have HBO Max, you have access to the things. So that's that's neat. But yeah, technically, I'm mostly using this not directly most of the time. Like I'm not in there most of the time. I'm on B-roll, because it makes more sense, at least for me, to just be right there and just look for something and say, well, I'm currently watching that. That's not the case. Um, and this is currently available on Netflix. And so I have the information that it is currently on Netflix, and I'm gonna look at here. If I'm looking for movies, for example, um, I can just mark things. This one is supposed to be available on Disney Plus, which now I've seen it. I want to know where this one is going to be, but because the DC is probably going to be on HBO Max, which is going to be shit because they don't have that. So it's going to be somewhere else at some point in the plane. Um, what do you mean? What's the chain about? There's a chain. Also, I didn't know that this one was existing. I thought that was the ballerina previous one. Oh, my necklace. I don't know. This is the necklace that I bought in Japan in 2022, I guess. Maybe. It's just huh? Ah. Uh, Dead. It's it's one of their chains, if I remember correctly. Um, and it's pretty neat. They had like another one that they made when I was there, and it was tempting, but also like this one is really cool. I like it a lot. It's heavy, you know. Um, it's it's neat. I have this one as well, but it tarnished so much, like it's basically gray red now, so that's really interesting. It changed color. The chain is really clean, but the pendant itself is just oxidized so much. But yeah, they have like a very cool overall boutique, and you know, um, it's neat. Though this one is old. This one is one of their first ish uh, design themselves, and I don't know if it's like on Instagram anymore. I doubt it. And yes, Stony, I did. I, of course, did. I just know that the um, The new seasons that is supposed to arrive now, that is currently filming, it's gonna be interesting. It's nice. I would say uh it's a change of pace. Let's say that. And it's a nice change of pace compared to the previous seasons. Um Appreciated. But yeah, I like it. I like Daredevil most of the time, so same thing as Spider-Man, it's the type of shit that is just like, it's fine. Anything that happens is gonna be pretty fine. So yeah. We've seen 5 stars, but not the 8 points, 4 point stars things. So yeah, it's nice. Don't worry about it. Ah, goddamn. Damn. That you have a bit of um, a close up on this. I forgot if I got the small one or the big one. I feel like I got the big one, but I'm unsure. I guess it's this one now. But yeah, I like the chain. The chain that comes with it is really good, and the pen itself is really good. So that's nice. It's this. I mean, it's not the same, but it's the same situation as Ailin. Um, that I have another pendant from her, which is not the same build or the same companies, but I have this one, which is really cool. Kind of starry things. Um, so I like it as well. I don't like the chain on this one, and I can't really change it because of how it's built. But yeah, she's building like other things. She's been building these ones for the past year, and they are okay, but I have issues with how they sit because of how um how the chain is going to rotate around the neck. You end up with the branch not being flat. That's not good. I mean, I don't like it. um, so these ones are like earrings and would be interesting as well, but like not necessarily the best, at least not from my point of view. And then she's doing a ton of things, so that's pretty cool as always. Um, I was debating the gold version. I think the gold version are pretty cool, but yeah, eh, you know. At the end of the day, I'm most likely gonna be on these ones. That doesn't change. This one is the one that I wanted um lately because it's really cool. I don't know if I want it in gold. It's because the gold one is extremely gold. The silver is pretty neat. But you know, that is pretty cute. And it could match with the one that I already have. So usual. Usual stuff. They haven't had like a new release lately that has been really good. Like most of them are like debatable. This one was great. I mean, this one I have it, um, and it's really good. But it's broken. I mean, it's broken. It pisses me off. It's very heavy. I do like the earrings as well. They work well together, and that makes sense. But then when you look at the chains, that's the thing that pissed me off. Is that chain in terms of what it is? It's stainless steel, which means that the only thing that is custom from them is the pendant. The thing is something that I can get to the hardware store. and they are making me pay $100 for this thing, and I'm like, that's too much. That's too much. Though I will probably buy this one at some point because it's slim and neat. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, the usual thing for these chains, is a lock, and that's not necessarily my style. I would rather have this one, um, because of the chain itself is more interesting than a regular hardware store chain, but it's basically the same shit. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Who? What's the name? Mm-hmm. Bamo followed me yesterday, earlier today, type of thing. So he follows me, apparently. This is this is chaotic, which is good. Yeah, we have there 9 hours ago. I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. But you know, other than that, um, things are pretty simple. Um, what do you mean? what What do you mean? How much is the close? The what? I don't get it. Um, hmm. 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 Oh, I see. The closest answer to his question. What's the question? I don't have the question. We don't have the question. Oh, dang. You're talking about Stony gifting. I don't. I know exactly when he went to bed. That's the thing. He said it. He went to bed at 11 in the morning, basically 8 hours ago. So yeah, I know. I know. Oh, yeah, I know I shouldn't like end early, but also hurting. and stuff. So, dang. I don't have I don't have an idea of how to do this fucking layout for the cards. And unless it just pops in my head or I go into research mode, which is not really fun, um, I'm not gonna work on it. So there's that. Like it needs to happen. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of reached the point where the thing that I want to do or the thing that I want to create in the app is outside of my capacities and skills, which is good. Even with the assistant, um, mainly because the thing in question is not available in their training models just yet, like the late 2024, I think, or mid 2025, I forgot, is their cutoff, meaning that there is a lot of training data on Apple stuff that is not really available. And that's really bad because I don't have the information. So, you know, that's the type of shit that needs to happen anyways. So, we will see. We will see. Hmm. Impressive. Um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I would send you there instead of Bamo. Bamo? Bamo? I don't know how to pronounce the name. Yeah, it's gonna be easier for me. Easier for me. I'm sending you there. It's been a while. Um, a cozy stream. You know, some burbs be good. So yeah, a lot more burbs. It's gonna be useful. As always, I don't know if these works. They work. Finally. If you want to watch the VOD for some reason, it's gonna be on YouTube. As always, if you have a question and I'm not live, that's gonna be on Discord. If you want to have question when I'm live, that's gonna be here on Monday. Um, but yeah, as always, if you want to learn Japanese, this is pretty cool. If you want to give me some money, this is pretty cool. And if you want to have a perfume collection, I don't have a button anymore, so that will be for later. I will do it. I will do it. Um, but yeah, you can give me some money. It happens. It happens. Give is a good thing. Give be good. Give be good. But yeah, as always, take care of yourself. Eat something. Drink something. Be kind to each other. And enjoy the burbs. I don't know when they pop up, but they will pop up. Bye.